Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files, Season 2, with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Crouched down. For me, at first, I thought it was just a forestry.
I thought it was a bear. You can tell the difference between like a small, spindly leg creature and something with a larger foot. And it was big, whatever it was. It ran straight down at us and it just stopped. And it was pitch black. Couldn't see it.
And most of these witnesses that come close to these things could have been killed.
It was beating on the side of the house. I guess it hit the side of the house as it went by.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was gone.
Like I needed someone to have pure faith in a higher power at that moment, and nobody fucking did.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kentucky X-Files. I guess that was a turkey one?
Yeah, I'm trying new birds.
Trying new birds, okay.
I want somebody to comment, like, bring back the original bird.
Bring back
The jungle, what the hell is the jungle bird that does the I have no idea.
the toucan?
Is it a
Or
is it
the-
a toucan?
I don't know.
The toucan finds cereal.
Oh.
Toucan, son of Sam.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Follow your nose. It always knows.
God, you remember that day at work when we was working together, that recycling stuff that
Yeah.
I tormented us with that shit all day. I just kept playing Green Jelly.
Right. Totally underrated band,
It really is.
by the way.
Really is.
If you haven't listened to Green Jelly, guys,
Yeah, definitely do it.
definitely. Three Little
That was
Pigs.
green jello.
No. They
Well,
got
they
sued.
got sued. Then it became
Oh.
Green Jelly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They got sued a lot.
Yeah. They got sued hard.
What was it? There was an entire electric Harley house. Literally, when the guitar solo kicks in, it just becomes Enter Sandman from Metallica. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, no exaggeration. It changes from their song to that for the duration of the solo, and then it goes back to their song again. They got sued. They got sued a lot. Great
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. How many albums did they put out? Was it just the one?
3, I think.
They did 3?
Yeah, I remember there was the first one that everybody knows. Everybody knows the first one with
Yeah.
the 3 little pigs and all that.
Yeah.
And then the second one had Carnage Rules on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I totally forgot about that album.
Yeah, that was like, it was weird because they released it as a soundtrack for a Sega Genesis game, and in the Sega Genesis game, it was all done with like, like the 16-bit sounds.
Yeah.
So it was like the songs on there, but it's 16-bit. I don't know. It was A for effort, I thought.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
they were trying to, be hip with the times, I guess.
Yeah. Great band. So how
Yeah.
you guys out there listening doing? You guys good?
Yeah, this is that's a preview of a new podcast that we're thinking about doing. Just talking about random
Green Jelly all day long,
Yeah.
every day.
Except for Wednesdays, we'll talk about Butthole Surfers. Another band that I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
So, what was this? I know we there was an article about.
Yeah, an article popped up about the triangle ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been like literally nonstop thinking about this triangle ship. You know, all the people have seen it. You know, there's pictures of it, videos of the damn thing. You know, it's like this thing's flying around out there. So this article pops up. What's it called again?
The title of the article is absurdly long. It says, "This is not an alien UFO from outer space. This is actually a top secret anti-gravity plane called the TR-3B."
Nice.
Sorry.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
TR-3B.
TR-3B.
Sounds like a robot from Star Wars.
It does. I guess it has a nickname of the Black Manta.
Yeah. So it's an anti-gravity ship that they're testing.
I really feel like they should be sued for that, though. That's a character from DC.
Yeah, but
Still.
who did DC steal it from?
Yeah.
Because like 90% of their stuff is stolen from something else.
Yeah. There's even a... Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the Black Triangle.
Yeah.
So now we're moving out of... Like, it's literally like this is moving out of... Well, I guess it's still considered a UFO if it's like not identified.
I mean, somebody's identified it, but then again, if it was an alien spaceship, they would have identified it. So yeah, technically, it's still a UFO,
right?
Yeah, and it's alien to us. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
So
it's like that the dude Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about him like a few weeks back? How like everybody thought he was just absolutely batshit nuts, and then like. Shit that he said back in the 80s is like all happening.
Right.
All the way down to the element that he identified.
Right. Project Blue Book and all that was it was kind of a laughing stock, and then it turns out that it was really producing some information.
And this dude literally said that he was working at Area 51, and when he I guess got caught showing people the UFOs, he took a bunch of people out into the desert. And they were sitting there filming them with like one of those old VCR, you know, the VHS recorders. They're sitting there filming them, and he said that out of nowhere, like a glow stick or something, just comes flying out of the bushes and lands next to them, and all these like soldiers come out of the bushes because they were like sitting there watching them the whole time. And then he said that after that, like, all of his, like, educational records, his, like, financial stuff, all of it's deleted and gone.
Right.
And, like, his whole life has been ruined or whatever.
I wonder if it was around the same time of the lights over Phoenix. Because that was a big thing that happened.
Yeah, I love how the lights over Phoenix is one of the most widespread, even on the news,
and it's just
sightings.
Just ignored as any kind of evidence.
And nobody even talks about it. Like
thousands of people,
right,
saw it.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Oh, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't.
All these crazy lights just appear in the sky over Phoenix, and everybody's like, "What is this shit?" You know? And it literally is like a couple years later, it's like nobody even. No, it's nothing.
Same thing happened in Mexico City too.
Yeah,
because there's
it's kind of like the same thing that happened with the Mothman. There were so many people that were there that night that saw the same thing, and it was like unexplained.
Right.
Well, there was only 2 or 3 people that saw him.
Well, there's people that actually saw the Mothman prior to the event.
Right.
But when the event happened, there was like 60 people there.
Yeah, there was a bunch.
There was a bunch of people.
A lot of people reported seeing him flying around the bridge.
Yeah.
Or hanging off of it.
I just don't think, like, personally, like, I don't know. I think it's when something crazy happens, lights in the sky, Mothman. I think if it's one person, it's like they either go one of two ways. They either go, I'm never going to talk to anybody about this because they're going to think I'm lying. Or they tell people and get it off their chest.
And everybody thinks they're lying.
And then everybody wants to think they're lying.
So what if the Mothman is more like, Jeff Goldblum in The Fly? What if, like, in previous life he was like a civil engineer and then somehow managed to get transformed into half moth, and he knew the bridge was going to collapse and tried to warn
us. But maybe we can't understand what he's saying.
Right.
Because we don't speak moth.
We don't speak moth.
We don't speak moth.
I think we just solved that. You heard it here first, folks. KYX. solving stuff.
I wonder if anybody is like, was that linguistic? In Moth.
I don't know, dude. From what people were saying, like the recordings, or like not recordings, but the actual sounds, like the phone calls and shit.
But he actually could talk though, like because the whole injured cold thing.
Yeah, but
they
he
actually talked to him, and
but some of the sounds were like crazy, like screeching, demonic from hell. You know, it's like if I call you up to warn you something bad's gonna happen, and I'm like, I don't know if the message is gonna get through.
Right.
You know, like that could have meant like, hey, don't go on the bridge on this day at this time because I know something bad's gonna happen. Okay. You know, I don't know. I just think that what people do is if like 50, 60, 100 people all see something crazy like that, I think they just forget it.
What I want to know is which one of the witnesses that saw Mothman is the one that told the artist who made the statue to put some serious glutes on him. Have you seen the Mothman statue?
Oh, he's ripped.
Yeah, he's thick.
Yeah.
He's got a booty.
He has arms.
But
he doesn't have arms in all the drawings though.
But I mean, like, you know, no wonder everybody saw him. His cheeks were probably clapping when he was flying through the sky. I mean, he has got a booty on him.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice glutes.
I don't remember that in any of the things I read.
He probably squats.
Probably does a lot of squats, a lot of walking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird because he has those wings.
He might be hanging underneath bridges and doing like reverse squats where he pulls himself up.
Oh yeah. Probably good for the
right.
butt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't imagine it being
Again,
bad.
Solved. Solved. Just saying,
Right.
like you set them up, we knock them down.
Can we get a solved sound bite that was just
need-
like just a stamp slamming down on a desk?
Or you just get that easy button. That was easy.
Oh,
That was easy.
That's how you get sued, like Green Jello.
Can they really? Can somebody really sue you?
If you use that sound bite, yeah.
Well, we can just record one of us. Say that's easy.
Maybe we'll like get the Mothman to call in and be like, "Good job, guys," and we'll just use that as our sound.
That means good job.
We have to translate it every time. That sound you just heard means great job.
Right.
And solved.
So this crazy ass ship, apparently, the way they're describing the propulsion system on it, which makes, I mean, I know I'm not a physicist, but it just seems like there's a lot of undue mechanics that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
They say that it's using pressurized mercury to propelled by nuclear energy to make plasma, which they use the plasma to create a gravity field.
I wonder how much pressure that mercury can withstand. Because you know how everything has a point, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like like how is it like a diesel engine? It uses compression
Yeah.
to ignite it. So I wonder how if mercury does that.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, apparently when you apply pressure to mercury, it accelerates the electrons in it and causes them to change direction in their motion. So that could be significant.
Mm-hmm.
But is it enough to, is it enough to make it, anti-gravity? I don't know.
Okay, are we talking anti-gravity? I was thinking about this a while back ago. Okay, and I'm gonna use this as I guess layman's terms for me because I the way to explain it. This is the way I want to explain it because this is the only way I understood it, but it's probably not right. But okay, for something to fly without your conventional jet engines or propellers.
Yeah.
Think of a magnet. Okay, we're getting pulled. Everybody is being pulled to the center of this Earth. That's what gravity is. It's that's what where we get our mass. Everything weighs more. So what can negatively, because opposite attracts.
Right.
What can push against that pull that tries to pulls us to the center of the Earth. Like, what can basically think of like I was saying, magnets. What would be the negative or the same? Like, because like opposites attract. What can?
Well, like for this, it wouldn't be using magnetism.
So, like, I'm just saying, like, would it be this? Like, it wouldn't be the same if, like, the same kind of principle as a magnet as gravity would.
It would be like, see, like magnetism and gravity are like not linked.
Like, they wouldn't have the same kind of properties.
They don't have anything to do with each
other.
other. Really.
Okay, so there wouldn't so if you had any kind of negative or
that's the problem is that to combat gravity, you have to discover anti-gravity. You got to find the neutral place first, and like, do you understand like the way like space and time works? Like, if you take like a sheet and you're suspending it from like a bed sheet, right? And you're suspending it from 4 angles, and it's just sitting there flat suspended, right?
Yeah.
That's time and space. If you drop a softball into the middle of it, that's planet Earth. What's it gonna do? It's gonna sink down right there in that middle. So that little like field that it created that's our gravity right there. That's basically it's pulling time and space around it. It's manipulating whatever area it occupies. So you got to figure out what can go against that, because it's not like it's not like gravity's not like air. We're dealing with something that the planet itself is producing. So what kind of thing do you make to neutralize that so that you can,
But the way that you made it sounds like the planet's producing the gravity, but I thought you said like space is producing it. Like, that's why if you put a tennis ball into that, it basically will fall into that.
Yeah.
Like down on the lowest, like in the middle, basically.
You have to have something of great mass and density occupying that space, and that causes the gravitational field. You get what I mean? It's not like a magnet. It's
I get you.
It's literally warping time and space. That's how you create gravity.
And that's how orbit works too.
Yeah.
The bowl that it creates in the bed sheet. Imagine if you took a ping pong ball and you were able to spin it around that bowl.
Yeah, you actually could see it.
Yeah.
That would show you orbit.
Yeah.
Because it would roll around
until it slowed down enough to succumb to the gravity. It works the same way as the coin thing when you were a kid. The big funnel, you drop a penny in it and it would spin around in circles.
The funnel would be time and space.
But it's slowly going down, like going into the middle.
Because it's slowing
down. The middle
Friction
for us is our sun. So we slowly getting closer to our sun. I feel like this is like...
so if the speed maintains, then the object continues at its path.
Yeah.
When it slows down because of friction, let's say the coin in the funnel, the reason why it slowly goes down is because it's the resistance of friction on the surface area of the coin is reacting with the coin and causing it to slow down. The same way like a car on flat ground, you take it 60 miles an hour, put it in neutral, it will eventually slow down and stop. The rolling resistance slows it down.
Yep.
There's not a rolling resistance in the vacuum of space. So as long as you maintain speed, you continue to stay in orbit.
It's kind of like how you can keep water in a bucket if you spin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will not come out.
Yeah, that's it.
In a nutshell, yeah.
That's I think a fun fact, if you didn't know this, but like our space stations and all of our satellites are not true gravitational orbit.
What do you mean, like
true gravitational orbits, like our moon?
Yeah.
That's actual gravitational orbit.
Yeah.
All of our satellites and our space stations, and I don't know if you guys out there listening, if you've ever looked up the map of all of our space junk.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. It's all in a state of free fall.
I've heard this, yeah.
Where it's going around, and it's like it can't fall because the edge of the Earth is there, so it's just in a constant state of free fall. And it creates like a kind of an artificial orbit.
Yeah.
Which is useful. But, Our space junk is literally disgusting, though.
It is terrible.
It's crazy. We
It's
launch
actually-
so much shit up there and then forget about it.
That's funny that you said that. There's an excellent article that apparently, there was a mutation that happened in some astronauts in their blood, in their DNA.
Really?
It's nothing like drastic or anything. It's not like they grew another toe or they grew bat wings or anything. But they said they, like, because this gives people more scare of, like, because they're, like, space travel, we feel like it's became a normal thing for us, but that we know everything that's what we need and don't need to do when we're in outer space, but there's always unexpected things that will come about. And the way that they explained it, they're very vague about what the mutation was, but apparently these, like, because they said some of these things could cause cancers and stuff, and like,
Jeez.
but they said that there was a mutation. They said that they did a blood screening on all the astronauts.
And this is
prior,
like just a random, like a random just mutation that
yeah,
happened?
a random mutation.
Wow.
They did a blood screen before they left, and then they did a blood screen when they came back. And I don't know if all of them, but I think they said some of them had a DNA mutation
Wow.
on them.
Just
And
from being up there for what?
being up there in a duration. They didn't specify. They didn't disclose who was up there or what their names were.
Oh,
So,
shit, man,
but they
that's
did
crazy.
say there was a mutation. I thought that was a unique thing, because that's something that a mutation, no matter what, like, it's evolution, so it takes time.
Yeah.
And this happened
Quick.
very quickly.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. So yeah, I guess it's just another thing that I feel like we gotta look at. I guess it's like, I don't know, like, I want to say that I hope this is true, or it's more of like trying to, I want to say NASA's trying to slow fucking Elon Musk down, because you know how he is. He really wants to go colonize Mars.
It's in their best interest to keep him going now.
I
You think
get
about
that.
all the like extra shit they're able to do now because they just literally get him to do it.
Well, not only that, I mean, they could hitch a ride.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't launch. NASA's not allowed to launch from the United States. They have to go to another fucking country to launch a shuttle. Elon can, though.
Yeah.
Like, they should just fucking play along with that dude.
Yeah.
I just
That and his budget's
I
entirely
was just
different.
like haven't thrown that as a theory out, but that they're not trying to throw shade at somebody that's, because
Yeah.
there's always because okay, in our lifetime there's two famous people that are literally going into the stars, like
Yeah.
civilians, people that are not supposed,
Right.
and they're thinking about space travel, like actually making it a commercial thing.
I don't know if I'd say they're not supposed to, and I wouldn't necessarily
I
say
would
the
say,
civilian thing, because it's like, who gave NASA the authority on space?
But you
You know?
gotta think
Yeah.
that there's so much criteria. Like, I wouldn't personally want anybody to go up there unless they're prepared.
I'm here to tell you right now, I think I would trust an American billionaire over our own government systems for that.
I
You
get,
know what I mean?
yeah, I get that, but I feel like there's so many other factors in that. Like I feel like a billionaire, if something went wrong, he could probably cover it up.
He'd be like, yeah.
You don't think the government can?
I feel like the government can, but
And will.
there's-
The difference
So-
is like he would use money and they use like snipers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he would be like, "Hey, here's settlement money. Let's just take care of that." The government's like, "That's expensive. Do we have a sniper?"
Yeah, can this guy, like...
We still owe China so much money. I don't
yeah,
think, or
we can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
This
they
guy
pull
just
out their
needs to
pockets
disappear.
and Mothman comes out.
I mean, look at all the bodies in the bottom of Lake Mead. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's not all
they
the
didn't
mafia.
Get there by themselves.
Yeah, that's not all the mafia doing that.
Speaking of conspiracies, though, have you been keeping up with Alex Jones?
I have
No.
not.
Oh my God!
Fuck, kidding me?
Oh, it's so good.
I know he's banned from every platform right now.
Oh yeah, he's
putting something in the water that makes the frogs gay.
pretty much. Dude, it was the best part, and if you haven't watched this, is he got on and he said a bunch of bad shit about the judge, and they called him out about it in the courtroom, and they're like, "Did you say all this?" And he's like, "No." They literally played it where he's like talking all this mad shit, and he's sitting there like,
Pizzagate.
"Yeah, damn it, dude." I don't know, man. You know, you gotta love him because before there was like whistleblowers, there was Alex goddamn Jones out there just calling it. The only problem is though, if you're gonna be into conspiracies, you gotta know when to pull back a little bit. You know, you can't go through life that everything is a conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like, this Rolling Rock bottle's green. That's a conspiracy. Why? Why is it a conspiracy?
You ever notice that? I feel like, when you get into conspiracies, like it's so bad. You don't even want to be into conspiracies or even like look at something sideways because of like Alex Jones types. Because you're like, God dang it! If I say anything about this, everybody's going to think I'm in love with Alex Jones. Or you'll end up being like freaking, what's his name, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, look at all the stuff that like was said before Snowden, and it was all a conspiracy theory. And then Snowden's like, no, this is all real. Going to Russia, I'll see you guys. Yeah, you know.
And he's pretty much like, if he comes back here, he is so screwed.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, in a way, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
And he should be an American hero. Because he blew the doors open on the shady ass shit our government was doing.
But the crappy thing is I love that we're all happy giddy. We're still going the routes. I'm like saying like, okay, I hate to bring this up, but like I don't know how many real cases of COVID were, but just the whole fact of like the things that went down with Edward Snowden, we can tell that there's some things that go in our government that are shady. So this whole pandemic or anything that's gone, like even the wars that we've gone through, you're telling me that there's no shady shit going behind closed doors.
There's to me, there's different degrees, right? There's
definitely
there's accountability problems, and there's conspiracies. And I'm not against conspiracies. Like, you know, the whole moon landing conspiracies? Right. I'm not talking about the moon landing was faked and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, watch some of the interviews from right after them guys came back. Watch how they act and how they answer questions. That tell me there wasn't something up there that scared them. Okay? That's all I'm saying about that. But what I'm saying is accountability problems. Okay? COVID. This is the biggest controversial thing to happen in the last decade. Mm-hmm. COVID. You got warring parties. One side is like, hey, it's a pandemic. We got to get vaxxed. We got to get fixed. We got to do something. Mm-hmm. The other side is, I'm not taking that goddamn vax. The government's in blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know what? Do your thing. I don't care either side. You know what I mean? I'm not vaxxed, and it's literally because I'm too fucking lazy to go do it. And that I've come to admit this.
Right.
I don't really care either way.
I just feel like...
But I'm lazy, and I don't feel like going and doing it.
The only thing I feel like I get a lot of like heat from this saying, I just feel like I want the choice. It's not that I think it's going to kill me or I think the government's going to bug my ass. Yeah. I don't understand why they need to know anything I talk about. But what I'm saying is I just want to make sure that they don't infringe on my right to choose not to have that.
Right.
That's the only thing I would want. Like, if I feel like I need it, I'll get the dang shot. See, that's the only thing. But I don't want to be told.
Polio was killing people, like polio, they vaxxed it. And now polio is kind of, you rarely ever hear about it.
The only actual...
Like smallpox.
Yeah, but I think we're getting vaccinations and inoculations confused.
Probably.
And because
what's the difference? I'm sorry, I'm a little
one obliterates a disease, and one helps you when you get it. It ain't as bad.
Okay, so yeah, vaccinations that, and then
It
the
just
one
builds up
belligerent-
your antibodies.
Yeah, it gives you a small dose of the disease. Your body has a chance to fight it off and learn how to fight it.
And I want to be like very clear on this. Like, I know I brought this up, and I feel like I'm sorry that I did, because I really don't like talking about this, because there's so many angles to it. The only thing I feel is that I feel like it was blown out of proportion. I'm not saying that the virus wasn't real.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
The
I'm not saying that.
accountability issue.
Yeah, I just feel like
That
a
falls
lot of
on the media.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many like people are like shoving the shit down our throats so much that we get terrified, and I'm like I'm sorry to say this, but we have to go out. We have to work. We have to live.
Yeah.
Right.
If this is such a big deal that's killing a lot of, like, they're saying thousands and thousands and thousands. If it's doing that and it's really that bad, we need to do something better, like different than this. We need to lock it all down. Like, I'm just saying that, like, to prevent, like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't, like, in the first year of COVID, didn't more people die of tuberculosis than COVID?
It's COVID went fatal on people who were at risk.
People that had underlying diseases.
Yeah.
Things that would make it easy to kill them.
That's what I was saying, was when I look at the differences, like, all valid points. The media blew it out of proportion. Misinformation. There was a very big political thing happening at the time, if we recall. I feel like it was used as a tool for political reasons.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I do think that there's a very simple accountability issue that makes the difference up. That little bit of difference of, like, what happened here.
Right.
My uncle died of lung cancer. Lung cancer killed him. Fact. On his death certificate, it said COVID-19. Also a fact. He didn't have COVID when he died. He died of lung cancer. He was at home when he died. There was no... You kind of see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of COVID shit happening at the hospitals and the record places going on. Do I think it was a major conspiracy? No. Do I think it was an accountability issue? Yes. Someone probably lumped it in thinking, you know what I mean? That's what I think. I just don't think that every layer of it's a conspiracy.
I feel like, this was what we're saying about, like, Alex Jones. Everything is not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's more of just there's too many higher ups in this room trying to get their word in, and nothing's actually getting solved.
And, you know,
or actually, because I think I was told that if you had the flu, since it's like in the same family, you could have tested positive if you just had the flu. It wasn't COVID.
Yeah, there's isn't it common colds, the flu? They're all in the corona family.
The rhinovirus stuff.
That was it. Rhinovirus.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like there could have been so many misdiagnosis. Can you guys say that word?
Misdiagnoses.
Thank you. I'm tongue tied there.
You think the rhinovirus, like, they could have saved that one for a much cooler virus? This is the kid in me talking, but I want a virus that literally turns me into a man rhino for, a little while. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh shit, Denny's got rhinovirus. I'm out there headbutting trees and shit, knocking stuff over.
Rocksteady?
Yeah.
From Ninja Turtles?
Right?
Was it
Bebop
was the warthog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that that's the thing of like these conspiracies, that I feel like, yes, COVID was I feel like media had a lot of play in it.
I really do think they pushed it a little bit.
They pushed
agenda.
it a lot, and then on top of that, I felt like it was really like it came at a time where
it was a necessity.
it was a necessity to help push
let's
another agenda in a political sense.
Let's just put it out there what it is.
Yeah.
They wanted to take the guy in charge and use his arrogance and ego against him and make him just put his own foot in his own mouth.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. They ate everything he said up.
Yeah.
And it was all on purpose, you know? You know, what I was going to say earlier is, you know, conspiracy theories and jokes, comedy, they have a common thread. The best ones have a tinge of truth to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's part of it is that I think, honestly, the biggest conspirators in the conspiracy theory of COVID was the media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they just spilled out whatever they were told to spill out whenever they were told to spill it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like we were being told different things. And I get it, man. Medical science and science, it changes. And that's how it works.
Practice.
It's called practicing for a reason.
Yeah, medical practice.
You know, so when they come up with new information, everything changes. But they were just anything that came up. It wasn't just, well, this might be what's going on. And it was the gospel. It was like the whole mask thing. You know? Like, they told everybody the mask saves our lives, and then they said, the vaccines will save our lives. I know a shitload of people that got vaccinated that still ended up with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I know a shitload of people that wore masks and still ended up with COVID.
Yep.
And I also know people that never wore a mask and never got vaxxed and never got it.
I wore a mask when I was forced to, and I never got vaxxed. I got COVID twice for sure, and I made it out the other side. And now I'm kind of walking around like, you know, whatever.
Right.
If I get it, I get it. You know, it's like I look at it like a cold, like the flu. You know, if I get it, it's just all it's gonna do is you know, get in there and force my lazy ass antibodies to get off their asses and do something.
And I will admit that it is harder than a flu or a cold.
Yeah.
It hits like
like a freight train.
It does. It hits like a freight train.
Oh, it sucks.
And then other people get it, and it's like, I just lost my sense of smell for a couple of days. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
First time I got it, I was down for like a solid month and a half. Like it was bad.
Yeah. The first time I got it, after the 2 weeks, I say first time, I think I only had it once. But after the 2 weeks, I went back to work because, I mean, you had to.
Yeah.
Right? Or it was a week. And it took me like 7.5 hours to do a job that I could usually do in 45 minutes.
Right.
I just putting my shirt on in the morning, I was out of breath and wore out, you know?
Absolutely. It was like that. It hit your system, killed your energy.
Yeah.
All this, you know. My dad was recovering from lung surgery for cancer, and he got it.
Right.
And they didn't fuck around at all. They drug him back in there and hit him with this antibody infusion. Dude, he was over it so fast, I was jealous.
Right.
He was back up and going in days. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, he was at risk.
Right.
And they weren't screwing around with it. So, me personally, like, as far as like the vaccines and all that go, I still feel the same way. I'm kind of like, meh, you know, either get it or don't, you know. If you like, I'm pretty sure that my immune system now has been beaten down by COVID a few times, where it's like,
well, you've had it like what, 4?
I had it twice for sure where I tested positive, and then once where I'm pretty damn sure it was a false positive.
Right.
Because I didn't lose my sense of smell or my sense of taste. I was back up and going pretty damn quick.
Right.
I felt like honestly, that one felt just like allergies.
Yeah.
Like I felt shitty for a day or two, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
And I'm like, I remember vividly because I made biscuits and gravy, and I was eating it, and I'm like, oh my God, this tastes so good. And then I'm like, wait a minute. If I have COVID, how come I can taste this?
Well, I didn't lose my sense of taste.
I lost everything. Like it was like nothing tasted good. Or
I know
smelled
somebody that got it last year and still can't taste.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, I mean, it hit everybody different, and that's what I think aggravated me the most about. And it wasn't just even the media; it was the people on social media. I think guess what aggravated me more than anything is all of the bench doctors that were out there. You know, all the keyboard physicians that were were taking everything as gospel, and if you didn't listen or say what they said, it was an argument, it was a fight. It was, if you didn't agree with them, you were an idiot.
Right.
You know, I remember getting into it with somebody, but the masks.
Yeah.
This was a non-essential employee, so they didn't have to go to work. That worked in an office, conditioned space.
Yeah.
That said that masks didn't make it any harder to breathe. And I can tell you right now that in a job site, those masks were horrible, absolutely horrible. And we had guys that were like trying to carry plywood up flights of steps, and we're just like getting halfway up and just dropping.
Yeah.
Because of the restriction.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not the fact that a paper thin mask restricts airflow as much as everything in the air getting stuck to this damp, wet, hot mask.
Nobody accounts for that.
Right.
You know, your saliva's making stuff stick to it.
Right, exactly. And on top of making it stick to it, it's like it's just humid and thick.
Yeah.
And your air's not leaving the mask, so it's just staying hotter and thicker and more humid.
Dude, look at it from like honestly the most strictly biological point of view. Okay? Just go straight to just get rid of medical science and all that. Just go straight to biology. Your breathing apparatuses that are built into your biology are not meant to be covered.
Right.
There's a reason you don't, like, when you tuck your brand new baby into bed, there's a reason you don't put the blanket over its head.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't put the sheet over its head. You don't restrict the airflow. Even if it's a paper thin sheet, best not to chance it, because that was never meant to be covered. You want to cover that shit? Grow a goddamn beard and a mustache.
I'm just saying.
That goes for you too, ladies.
Yeah.
There's the mask thing too. Is like they make it sound like, okay, I can get it with people that are in an office space.
Yeah.
They're sitting down. They're not doing much of. They're not exerting any energy or anything. They're just sitting at a desk. So, but like your job, sitting, you're probably like, I want to say you're half outside because you're in an unfinished building.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot. You're already outside, but then you have the heat and all that, and you're going up flights of stairs.
To put it,
you're literally basically. It's like telling somebody. I know some people can do it, but I've seen somebody. What was he? He put on 3 of the like surgical masks, and he ran around a track, and he's like, "I can breathe. I can still breathe." Yeah, we get it. You can breathe, but not everybody can do that.
No.
Okay, we already said it, that people with complications that are at risk. Okay, there are like people with asthma. Yeah. You're telling them to put on a mask when they can't breathe half the time as is without a mask.
Right.
So like I get it. Some people can get by with the mask on, and they basically are just telling you suck it up and wear the mask. I'm like, okay, it just gets under my skin when people do that, and they're not taking an accountability of how people else work.
Like for a prime example, this past summer I did a small project in a multi-story building. Typically, whenever we do projects in multi-story, they turn the HVAC system off in the space we're in because the dust and everything will actually ruin the systems, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was 100 or close to it every day when I was there outside. We were going outside to cool off.
Yeah.
Like if we took a break, when we took lunch, we went outside.
Yeah.
That's how much cooler it was.
Probably dreaded going back in, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would have rather stayed outside than go back inside. We left that project and went to an outside project. And everybody was worried about us. Like, good Lord, man, you guys are all right out there? It's like 110 heat index or something stupid. I forget what it was. Like, it was hotter where we were.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad. We have a breeze now.
I think, though, honestly, I don't I don't feel a heavy conspiracy around that topic because I feel like there's too many of us. There's too many millions of us reporting our individual experiences.
Yeah.
And not all of them are lining up. You know, that's my point of view on it. I think it's like, yeah, like, okay, you got to work in this area, you got to wear masks. Okay, it's fine. Hey, you know, we just had food delivered. I don't know where that guy that brought the food's been all day. I don't know if he shook hands or touched a door that somebody who had COVID sneezed on. There's too many uncontrollable variables, which is like exactly what a pandemic is. There's too many uncontrollable
and especially
variables.
how big, like, we're overcrowded as is. We're overpopulated.
Sure.
It's gonna, like, this type of thing is gonna happen.
Yeah.
When we're assholes to elbows, there is no way of us to keep up this type of economy, this lifestyle,
right?
And not have casualties.
That's
and
the biggest conspiracy right there.
I hate to say this, but it's survival of the fittest. That's the whole, like, how we got here in the first place. Like, it sucks. Like, I have borderline health issues. I have high blood pressure. I'm diabetic.
No.
I could, the way that they explain this, I've had COVID once. That I did the rapid test, so I don't know if it was false or not, but I did feel like crap. But what I'm saying is that I could be at risk. I could have died from this, from that illness.
Yeah.
But I understand why.
Right.
Because there was no way of me getting out of that. I had to go to work. I had to do that, and I know for a fact that mask would not have helped me in any way. I would have probably still got it somehow.
Oh, germs are tenacious.
You know, there were people actually calling the cops on us for working.
Really?
Yeah. That's no bullshit. Like, right after it all happened and the governor of Ohio put out the stay-at-home order or whatever, we were working because we were essential. And it said so on the news. Construction is essential. You know, especially seeing how some of us were building hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of important. There were actually people calling the cops on job sites.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like the audacity that you think you're the fucking authority.
Yeah.
You know?
That's some serious, what do they call it? Karens?
Yeah.
I think
that's like ultra mega Karen is what that is.
The biggest conspiracy to kind of piggyback off of what you touched on there is, I think, is the fact that we live in a society, in a country that is built on economics, and we go out of our way to try to prove that we're not.
Right.
Yeah.
That is hilarious,
Yeah,
and I think it's the biggest conspiracy, and I think we're all in on it.
Yeah.
Because we're
part
like,
of the,
oh, we're spiritual. Oh, we're accepting of other cultures. Oh, we're peaceful. No, we're an economic country. Just call it what it is. You know what I mean? Think about it. Like, look, even your church wants donations. Come on.
Because it needs to pay for stuff.
If we weren't an economic country, an economic culture, why do we need money for everything we do?
Right.
We can't even sit here and bring this show to you without money.
Right.
Money paid for the recorder, paid for the microphones, it paid for us to even sit here. We're doing this after work.
We have to do our jobs before this.
We're sitting on a table that probably cost you money. We're using your electric that cost you money.
Right.
We try our damnedest to say that money isn't the center of our universe. And we even have little like signs, and it's funny too because you can buy those little signs that say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy this fucking sign.
Yep.
And it's at the Dollar General down the street. I just saw one, and it cracked me up.
It's just like I feel like
that's the conspiracy, in my opinion.
To another conspiracy on that, okay, like just to piggyback off of that, we've talked about
piggybacking all night.
Yeah,
we're just gonna piggyback.
We're going to start leapfrogging. Just like I get it. Electric cars.
Oh, Jesus.
You want to be
here it goes.
Green.
It was a matter of time.
But come on, just think about that. Sit there for a second. What goes in your battery? And those
electricity.
Electricity. What material do they need to put in that battery?
Lithium.
Where do you get a lithium?
From a lithium mine.
What does a lithium mine after it doesn't produce anymore?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's a big hole. They can't do anything.
You can make a parking lot.
You can't farm. You can't farm it.
You can make a parking lot and you can charge people to park there.
There you go.
And you can put chargers there.
So that's what I'm saying.
Powered by big diesel generators.
Yes.
Yeah. See, what I don't understand is where they call themselves zero emission cars, because they are not. It's not zero emission. What happens? The emission is happening.
Yeah.
Before the car.
Yes.
Yeah,
because it's used. Okay, for one thing, you said a lithium mine. They have to dig a hole in the ground to mine this stuff, and there's no such like. I think they're working on it. I think there's only one electric excavator, and that's just one.
Yeah.
Ignoring the equipment it takes to get the lithium to produce the batteries.
Right,
Batteries do not produce electricity. They store electricity. In order to make electricity, electricity comes from places that create emissions.
Yeah.
Unless by some miracle you're charging your electric car via solar power, you're not zero emissions.
A grand total of 13% efficiency here on Earth.
And even then, like, it's still a little iffy because of battery disposal, acid leakage.
Yep.
You know, like, it's not a zero emission car. It's a prior emission car. That's what it is. The emissions happen prior to the car starting.
I think the electric car thing is hilarious.
It is.
I was okay.
The fact that we're not using hydrogen is absolutely fucking beyond me.
It's mind blowing why we're not using hydrogen.
Because it's in the wrong pockets.
I delivered some beer to a pretty prominent adult entertainment place down in Newport this week, right? And speaking with the owner for a while, told me that he has an electric car. It's his wife's, and he wants to push it into the river. He's like, I think it would be better as a habitat for fish than it would what it's supposed to do.
Right.
His wife jumped in the car and had to go to Lexington. Okay? She gets down there and the car dies because, hey, guess what? Turns out that for all this fancy technology, there's a reason we plug everything into the wall. We're not that good at batteries yet. We're just not that good at it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
You know, don't beat yourself up out there if you make batteries for a living. Batteries are about 10, 11 years behind. That's all.
Right.
But she gets down there. She's supposed to be going to like a business thing. Can't make it because her car's dead on the side of the road. She had to limp mode it. She had to find a hotel that had the charger that would work for that car. Then she had to book that hotel. And then she had to stay there for 8 hours while it charged the fucking car up. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, that sounds super efficient. I would have just put some gas in and drove there and back.
Right.
That's just me.
Right. So the hybrid, I'm okay with the hybrids. That makes sense. You know, because then at least you've got an internal combustion engine when your batteries fail.
Yeah.
And you're going like...
You mean an engine that we've got a couple 100 years developing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Same one, huh?
I just feel like we're not... I just want to let everybody know we're not getting out of this world. If we want to keep the luxuries that we have, we're not leaving this world without blood on our hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless we literally stop. And that's even... Like, literally stop doing everything we're doing. Like,
maybe stop assassinating people that make hydrogen engines.
Right.
But,
that'd be like a good start.
Yeah, if we stop doing what we're doing, we stop doing currency, we literally go back to primitive stuff, we're still having to burn. That's carbon emissions right there.
Yeah.
Like, and then on top of, like, if everybody in this world went to burn it, like having to burn something to cook,
yeah,
that's probably just as worse as us driving a fucking car around all the time.
Yeah, it was like the early 2000s. Like, the internet's just getting really prominent. You know, it's starting. I remember getting on there and watching videos of the 700 horsepower hydrogen dune buggy. You know?
Yeah.
Try to find it now. It's
Right.
gone. It's gone. It's deleted. The
Right.
dude got assassinated.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Right? He got literally killed in his like front yard, randomly.
Well, the same guy, the guy that invented the diesel engine, actually died. He was in a boat. I can't remember how they said, like, the guy, like, the man that actually invented the diesel engine.
Rudolph Diesel?
Yeah, he was he was killed. Like, they said he was murdered.
I wonder
think
if
he was in a boat.
The gasoline engine guy was like,
"Fuck that guy."
Damn it! You mean we could have made fuel for that too?
Right.
I probably shouldn't have shot him.
But,
Or
isn't
whatever.
it, and, but
Like-
that always baffles me too. Is diesel comes before gasoline?
It's a byproduct.
Yeah, it's a byproduct. So why is diesel so much more?
It didn't used to be.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Sit
if you
around,
actually
children.
see,
Let me tell you a little story.
if you see pictures of old times, like you'd see diesels like dollar and then
So when I first started driving, diesel fuel was 65 cents a gallon. Gasoline was $1.10.
Yeah.
Right? And then this little thing happened in China where their economy went haywire and started booming and booming and booming. And then suddenly half the country was running on diesel generators.
to supply and demand.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, diesel prices just shot through the roof. And then they came up with the ultra low sulfur to try to help with emissions, and it shot through the roof.
Yeah.
And then every year, the winter blend is out. The winter blend costs more than the summer blend, and it never goes back down. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down.
No. So that is. It used to be. It used to be cheap.
Yeah.
It used to be. It was nice. It was wonderful.
So I get it. The whole supply and demand. Like when there's too much that is needed, there's more factories that need to be built to produce it, more employees. So it's going to cost more for it to the inflation of that. So we're seeing a lot of that right now too. But okay, guys, we're I feel like this whole episode was about conspiracies. Kind of look at those subtle things. We don't know if the triangle ship that you're seeing is one of ours.
It takes 900,000 degrees Fahrenheit to turn mercury, liquid mercury, into plasma. So if that ship is doing that, good God, everybody on there is probably a hot pocket.
Yeah. Wow.
So, well, what do you guys think? Do you think it's a UFO or
It's a UFO regardless.
Yeah, I think it's a UFO.
or American UFO? Whatever it is. And like, what other conspiracies do you guys think?
I think it's just an FO at that
FO?
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a flying object.
Just a flying
Yeah.
object. But yeah, like
An
what
FT.
other conspiracy do you guys think that's always on your guys' mind? So
Yeah.
let us know in the
You
comments.
guys want to know another conspiracy while we end this show?
Oh God.
It might seem like we're in a little bit of a rush to end this and get going to do something super secret for the show, or we're not. I don't know. It's a conspiracy. Who knows?
I guess we're gonna leave it on that note. The train going by.
You enjoy your week, everybody.
Yeah.
Take care of each other.
See ya.